The Indianapolis Colts win a huge game 26-22. You are to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello, welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Indianapolis Colts avoid an 0-3 start as they defeat the San Diego Chargers 26-22. Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton with a huge game-winning drive, touchdown drive to end this game. Well, realistically, the Chargers had a chance, and, at the very end of the game to go down and score a touchdown to win. But to me, once I saw T.Y. Hilton streaking down the middle of the field, that game was over, and the Colts avoid an 0-3 start. And you liked to see your defenders, some of them, get back healthy, okay? Henry Anderson back. He got injured at the end of last season. At the end of his rookie season, he came back today. He played well today. You saw Vontae Davis come back and play well today. You're starting to get healthy defensively. This is what you've been waiting for. Now we just have to sit back and wait for Darius Butler, sit back and wait for Patrick Robinson, and then this defense should be back to a decent level. You also got a good amount of pass rush on the quarterback today, so that was nice to see on your end. And T.Y. Hilton with a huge game, was pretty quiet last week against Denver. He showed up huge today. And Jason Verrett, cornerback for the San Diego Chargers, horrible game. And I'm so disappointed in him. He is a much better player than what he displayed today. He did not show up, and it's a really big shame for the San Diego Chargers because they rely on him in one-on-one coverage, and he absolutely made them look like fools today. T.Y. Hilton burned this man on multiple occasions. It was pretty absurd. But for the Colts, congratulations. Now you're 1-2, only one game out of the AFC South, and next week you have a huge AFC South matchup as you go to an 0-3 Jacksonville Jaguars team. And this is a game I think you're actually going to win. Jacksonville, they're just not playing well right now, pretty much at all. You guys now have some momentum on your side, getting some of your defenders back healthy. I think you guys are going to win that game. As for San Diego, disappointing game. Antonio Gates didn't play. Hunter Henry stepped up for the most part until the very last fumble of the game, but I won't blame him too much. He's a rookie, and he played pretty well today outside of that. Tyrell Williams, I thought he was the best wide receiver for the San Diego Chargers today. Their most consistent wide receiver, the one that they could rely upon on a play-to-play basis. You like to see that from him. He looks like a legitimate number 2 wide receiver. I didn't think that'd be the case, but he actually showed up pretty well today. Travis Benjamin, he had 4 receptions for 82 yards, but, one of them was a big, deep ball. I thought he was pretty inconsistent. Him and Philip Rivers didn't look like they're on the same page on some of these crossing routes over the middle. They had to clean that up. I'm not going to blame him too much, but I expected a little more from him. He was one of my fantasy studs of the week, going into the week, but didn't quite live up to my expectations. But what are you going to do? I mean, this is a game you can't just trash either team. The Chargers, you lost the game, you 1-2, that's disappointing, but you played hard. You just ended up losing the game. You blew the coverage late in the game. Jason Verrett, I think you can blame this loss on him. I think you can blame it all on him. He didn't play well today at all. And I think that's fine with me. You expect better from him. He needs to be better. Get Joey Bosa on the field, too. That could help your defense out a lot. So both teams 1-2. And this goes for 13 teams right now. Actually, 14 teams right now in the NFL, currently 1-2. And if the Bears and if the Saints win, there's going to be 18 NFL teams that are 1-2. Very odd partition of win-loss records in the NFL right now. Not even close to being even. You have like 5 or so, 3-0 teams. You have like 4 or so 0-3 teams, and then just a bunch of 1-2 teams, and then maybe 7 2-1 teams. Very odd partitioning right now in the NFL, but hey, what are you going to do? San Diego, next week you guys go up against the New Orleans Saints. You guys host the Saints. I expect you guys to win that game, but it's not going to be easy, so just be prepared for that. You have to get better play out of Jason Verrett. Let's move on to the other afternoon games. We start with the one that was delayed, the one that delayed me, and that was the LA Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I waited until the conclusion for this game for me to make this video. That's why it's coming a little late. And The Rams, wow, 2-1. I didn't see it coming. And honestly, Rams fans, come on. You didn't see it coming either. After week 1, you were already thinking doom and gloom, and you should have because it was bad. But hey, they're coming out. They're playing well. Jeff Fisher's doing this thing. They're still not going to be better than 7-9. Okay, they're not. In fact, I'm still not convinced they're going to be better than 5-11 yet. I'm not convinced yet. Okay, yeah, you won a big game in Tampa Bay. I still think the talent on the roster isn't very good. So I have to wait and see when it comes to the LA Rams. But hey, it's a big win on the road despite the weather delay. And I guess that's, congratulations are in order for that. I'll wait and see. We move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston had some ups and some downs. He had the strip sack that was returned for a touchdown. Didn't like that. Had an interception today. But beyond that, I thought he played quite well. Right now, this Bucs team, Vincent Jackson, man, this guy isn't doing much of anything. I don't know what's wrong with Vincent Jackson. And Adam Humphries is really, I think, their de facto number 2 right now. At least they're number 3. They need better wide receivers. Their offensive line protected okay, but Donovan Smith still gets some penalties. Had a crucial penalty late in the game. They need to improve. They need to get better. I have them making the wild card. They need to step it up if that's going to be the case. We move on to the Kansas City Chiefs at the this was the New York Jets at the Kansas City Chiefs. And oh my God, Ryan Fitzpatrick. 6 interceptions for Ryan Fitzpatrick today. Wow, this is the worst quarterback stat line I can remember in my lifetime. 6 interceptions for Ryan Fitzpatrick, 0 touchdowns, obviously, in a huge loss to the Kansas City Chiefs because I thought this game was for the taking. I had the Jets winning this game, and it was under the assumption that Ryan Fitzpatrick would not throw 6 interceptions, that maybe he could throw 1 touchdown. I think if they had any semblance of quarterback play today, they could have won this game. The Chiefs weren't putting up points. This Jets defense was slowing down the Chiefs tremendously. I don't know why Ryan Fitzpatrick played like this today. This is one of the worst quarterback performances I can remember, and it reminds me why I only have the Jets going 7-9 this season. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to have these clunkers. I'm sure next week against Seattle he may overachieve and he may play well and they may upset. But you're always going to have these type of performances. Maybe not to this extent, but clunkers, stinkers, and games like this where you just sit back and say, oh yeah, he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. And for the Chiefs, you got a victory, okay? And not a very hard victory. Not a very easy victory, okay? So that's nice for you. Next week, guys, go up against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I expect you guys to lose that game. So wild card to me still up in the air. I think right now the Bengals, yes, they're 1-2. I still think the Bengals are going to make it, and the Raiders and the Broncos. I think Broncos look like they're going to win the AFC West, and then Raiders to me, I still like them as a wild card. But things will start to really take form later on in the season. There's a big game coming up, Kansas City at Oakland. I think that's in 2 or 3 weeks, so that'll be interesting to see. Chiefs. I'm not too impressed. I'm impressed by your defense, but your offense, to me, it's really bothering me right now. Really so. You guys couldn't put up points against Houston, and then week 1 you guys could put up points, but not until the second half. So I'm not quite on board with Kansas City quite yet. We move on to the Philadelphia Eagles, winning 34-3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is, I think, the most shocking final score that I can remember. I'd have to go back and I'd have to look to see a result, a final score as shocking as this one. This is absolutely shocking to me. The Steelers are one of my guarantees of the week. I thought they'd win this game by 3.5 or more. And man, the Philadelphia Eagles, we just have to give them props. We got to put some respect on their names, man. I don't want to hear it no more because the Philadelphia Eagles right now, they're playing great football. And Carson Wentz, as of this moment, is looking like the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen, and probably in NFL history. Statistically, he is 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Carson Wentz. The guy is playing superb. You have to give credit where credit is due. The Cleveland Browns, the LA Rams, you have to be up at night thinking, how could we pass on Carson Wentz? This guy's been phenomenal. 3-0. That's another very valid statistic for Carson Wentz right now. The guy is playing incredible, and the Eagles are playing incredible. They are legitimate NFC East contenders. NFC contenders, maybe. I mean, because right now no one is really solidifying themselves in the NFC other than the Minnesota Vikings right now. And I still think the Packers are good, okay? Because they lost to the Minnesota Vikings. But I think the Eagles, man, wow, they're looking really good, man. I mean, they look like NFC East champions. I mean, honestly, the blend of the defense and this offense right now, it's really, really good right now. We'll see if they can keep it up, but for right now, man, we got to put some respect on the Philadelphia Eagles names. And as for the Steelers, this is the team I have going to the Super Bowl. And it's frustrating why the Steelers, they always have to have these clunkers, it seems like. You know, every year they have these clunkers, these games, but they just don't show up. I don't know if they just get too cocky or what, but, you know, they're going to be fine. They're going to host the Kansas City Chiefs next week. I think they're going to win. But you just have to be better. You know, you have to win these games, these easy games. You got to win them because the Patriots and the Broncos, you're battling for playoff positioning, for bye weeks already. Yeah, you're battling for this. You can't afford to lose this type of game to Philadelphia, and you lost it. Maybe Philadelphia is really good. Maybe they're going to go 12-4 this season, and then you look back and you'll say, well, we lost to a 12-4 team, who cares? But for right now, it's a disappointing loss, and I mean, either way, you can't lose by 31 points, I mean, to anybody. Even if you're facing the New England Patriots, you can't lose like that. So, disappointing, absolutely disappointing right there. We move on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks are back. And, you know, I'm not surprised. I mean, to me, the Seahawks never had any big issues. The Rams, they always give them trouble. The Seahawks are good. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Right now, though, hey, you're on top of the NFC West. That's nice to see. You know, get things going, get things rolling. Get Russell Wilson healthy. Guy went down again. Get him healthy, for God's sake. If you do, next week at the Jets, tough game, huge game. You guys can win that game. You really start to solidify yourselves as NFC West contenders, big-time contenders, and NFC contenders. But right now, the Vikings are looking tough, man. I mean, their defense is looking tough, but I think you guys can go up against them. You guys have given them some nice trouble in the past. That'll be interesting to see, and we'll see it soon enough, I'm sure. So, is that every game? Yes, I believe that is every game. That is all the games here in the afternoon. I'll be back to recap the Sunday Night Football game. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm out.